Most people believe the answer lies somewhere else. A new job, a new city, a new partner, a new year. But Stoicism asks, what if you don't need a new life? What if you simply need a new mind? Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The world teaches us to upgrade our lifestyle. The Stoics teach us to upgrade our perception. What if you didn't need to run away? What if the version of you who could thrive already exists, beneath the noise, the wounds, the distractions? A Stoic life doesn't mean comfort. It means clarity. You begin not by changing your circumstances, but by examining your relationship to those circumstances. Are you reacting from habit or responding from wisdom? Are you seeking validation or living from conviction? Let's be honest. Changing the outside is easier, but change that lasts starts from within. A new mind is forged in silence, not in scrolling, not in buying, but in reflecting. Seneca said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." So what's really stopping you from becoming who you admire? Here's the hard truth. It's not your past. It's not your circumstances. It's your thoughts. You are not your thoughts, but your thoughts shape your experience. That's why the Stoics practiced journaling, reflection, voluntary discomfort. They trained their minds like warriors trained their bodies. Every morning, Marcus Aurelius would write to himself, not to impress others, but to remember who he was. When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love, not to consume, not to escape, to be present. This is your call to reclaim your power. You don't need a new relationship to feel worthy. You don't need a new job to feel capable. You don't need a new year to begin again. You need a new lens, a new intention, a new direction. That's where Stoicism begins. Try this. Each morning, write down one virtue you want to embody. Courage, discipline, kindness. When you're triggered, pause. Ask, what would a wiser me do here? At night, reflect. Where did I live according to my values? Where did I drift? Growth is not instant, but it's inevitable. When you stop waiting for the world to change and start changing the way you see it. So the next time you feel stuck, don't wish for a new life. Start building a new mind. You are not your past, no matter how loud the voice in your head is telling you that you are. Everyone has done something they regret, said something they wish they hadn't, let someone down, let themselves down. But Stoicism teaches this: your past is not your prison, unless you keep locking the door. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." It's not the memory that hurts. It's the meaning you've attached to it. Maybe you failed someone. Maybe you didn't live up to who you wanted to be. Maybe you lost your way. That doesn't mean it's over. You are not the version of you who made that mistake. You are the version of you who learned from it. The Stoics didn't dwell on perfection. They practiced alignment. They knew mistakes were part of the path. Seneca said, "Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end." What matters is what you do now, right now. This moment is yours to shape. Try this. Name the part of your past you're ashamed of. Write it down, feel it. Now, rewrite the story. What did it teach you? What did it reveal about your values, your needs, your patterns? Burn the old version, literally or symbolically. Keep only the lesson. You are not here to be perfect. You are here to be honest, to evolve. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. It means releasing the weight so you can walk freely. The world wants to define you by your past. The algorithm wants to remind you of it, but you get to decide what you carry forward. You are not your old habits. You are not your family's patterns. You are not your lowest moment. You are the one who survived. Epictetus taught, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. And that includes what already happened. Your past may have shaped your wounds, but your present is shaping your healing. So today you choose. Do I keep repeating the past? Or do I rebuild something wiser from it? Let go of the old identity, not because it's wrong, but because it's done. This chapter isn't about escape. It's about redemption. You are not your past. You are the one writing the next page. The world will always be chaotic. The question is, will you be? The Stoics lived through war, exile, betrayal, and loss. Yet they wrote with clarity, spoke with calm, and lived with composure. Not because life was easy, but because they trained their inner world to be stronger than the outer one. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." You don't need to control everything. You just need to control yourself. This is self-mastery, the ability to stand still while the storm rages, to choose reason over reaction, to respond, not out of fear, but from wisdom. But let's be honest, you weren't taught to master yourself. You were taught to chase outcomes, please others, react quickly, and avoid discomfort. And what did it bring? Stress, noise, burnout, a life ruled by everything except you. The Stoics flipped that upside down. They believed your real power isn't in what you own, but in what you can govern within. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Self-mastery begins with awareness. What triggers you? What thoughts loop in your head when you're tired? What emotions hijack your focus? You cannot change what you do not notice. Here's a practice. When you feel triggered, pause and breathe. Name the emotion. Don't judge it. Just name it. Ask, what would the best version of me do next? Do that, even if your ego resists, especially then. Self-mastery isn't suppression, it's transformation. It's taking anger and turning it into boundaries, taking fear and turning it into action, taking confusion and turning it into curiosity. Every time you delay a reaction, you train your mind. Every time you speak with intention, you sharpen your soul. Every time you walk away from drama, you walk toward discipline. And guess what? You won't get it perfect. You'll slip, you'll snap, you'll forget. That's okay. Mastery isn't about never falling. It's about rising wiser every time you do. This chapter of your life isn't about having it all together. It's about taking full responsibility for your thoughts, your emotions, your decisions. Because once you stop blaming, you start building. Chaos isn't your enemy. It's your invitation to grow, to observe, to lead yourself. You don't need to fix the world. You just need to become unshakable in it. That's self-mastery. And it starts now. Discipline. It's not a punishment. It's a declaration of who you choose to become. In a world addicted to comfort, Stoicism calls you to a higher standard. Not to impress others, but to build the kind of life that doesn't collapse under pressure. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Just that you do the right thing. The rest doesn't matter. Not the applause, not the results. Just the right thing. That's discipline. Doing what's right, not what's easy. Not once, but over and over again." It's waking up when you'd rather sleep in. It's speaking calmly when anger wants to take over. It's writing, training, working, thinking, long after the motivation is gone. Motivation is a spark. Discipline is the fire you build with your bare hands. And let's be real, we've all broken promises to ourselves. Skipped the workout. Delayed the dream. Said, "I'll start tomorrow." But the Stoics? They didn't rely on moods. They built their lives around principles. Seneca said, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself." Discipline is forged in adversity. When things don't go your way, that's when the real training begins. You don't build discipline by reading quotes. You build it by choosing structure over chaos, again and again. Start simple. Set one non-negotiable habit each day. Honor your word, especially to yourself. Track effort, not perfection. Discipline is freedom. Because once you train your mind to obey your values, you're no longer a slave to distractions. Every time you delay gratification, you grow stronger. Every time you sit in discomfort, you grow deeper. Every time you keep going, you grow unstoppable. Epictetus wrote, "Don't explain your philosophy, embody it." That's what Stoicism demands. Less talk, more practice. Anyone can speak of wisdom, but few are disciplined enough to live it. Here's the truth. Discipline isn't rigid. It's liberating. It's saying no to what dulls you, so you can say yes to what grows you. It's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent with what matters most. So stop waiting to feel ready. Start becoming ready through daily commitment. This is your edge. This is your power. Not willpower alone, but disciplined identity. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your discipline. Build that, and you'll build a life of meaning. Everyone's chasing something. Money, status, attention. But very few are pursuing something deeper, purpose. The Stoics weren't obsessed with achievement. They were obsessed with meaning. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." In a noisy world, purpose brings clarity. In a pressured world, it brings peace. Most people live by pressure. The pressure to succeed, the pressure to impress, the pressure to keep up with everyone else. But pressure is external. Purpose is internal. One fades the moment the spotlight turns off. The other fuels you long after no one's watching. Seneca said, "If a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favorable." Purpose gives you direction. Without it, you drift. You overcommit. You burn out. You forget why you started. So, what is purpose? It's not just what you do. It's who you become through what you do. It's the why behind your actions, the values you stand on, the mark you want to leave on the world, even in the smallest of ways. Here's how to reconnect with your purpose. 1. Ask yourself, what would I do if no one ever applauded? 2. Revisit what makes you feel useful, not just entertained. 3. Write a one-sentence mission. Who do you help? Why does it matter? Purpose simplifies decisions. You'll stop saying yes out of guilt. You'll start saying no out of alignment. You'll work not just to make money, but to make meaning. And here's the irony. The more you live with purpose, the less pressure controls you. You become grounded, clear, focused. Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." Purpose turns ordinary days into sacred training. You no longer need motivation. You have direction. You no longer seek permission. You have conviction. You stop performing. You start becoming. You stop proving. You start living. There will always be pressure, but purpose makes the pressure worth it. 2, don't chase what looks good. Build what feels right. Because when your life is driven by purpose, no pressure, you don't just exist, you lead. Letting go is not weakness. It is the beginning of strength. We carry too much. Regret from the past, fear of the future, expectations from others, identities that no longer fit us. The Stoics taught us we suffer more from our attachments than from reality itself. Epictetus said, "It is not things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them." Letting go is not forgetting. It is choosing peace over control. It's saying, I don't need to be right. I need to be free. I don't need to hold on. I need to move on. What are you clinging to? A grudge that poisons your energy? A fantasy about how life should have gone? A version of yourself that's no longer true? Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means giving space for something better. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." Here's the truth. The tighter you hold on, the more you bleed. The more you grip, the more you slip. But when you release, you rise. Letting go is a practice. Start here. Each morning, imagine releasing one fear, one label, one expectation. Visualize yourself breathing in presence and breathing out pressure. You are not your thoughts. You are not your pain. You are the awareness behind it. The world will try to define you. Let go of those definitions. The past will try to haunt you. Let go of that timeline. The ego will try to protect itself. Let go of that armor. You are allowed to start again. You are allowed to heal. You are allowed to not be who you used to be. Forgiveness? That's letting go. Stillness? That's letting go. Silence in the face of chaos? That's letting go. And it's not easy. It feels like death because part of you is dying. The part that no longer serves you. But what's born in its place is clarity, is freedom, is peace. Seneca said, "He suffers more than necessary who suffers before it is necessary." You don't need to carry everything. Some things were meant to pass through, not stay within. So breathe, release, surrender what you cannot control. Letting go is not passive. It is active courage. It says, I trust the unknown more than the pain I've grown used to. You won't float until you drop what's weighing you down. Letting go is how you rise. Your mind is a temple or a prison. It depends on who's building it. You were not born with beliefs. They were given to you by parents, by teachers, by pain. But you are not your conditioning. You are the architect now. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. What you think, you become. What you believe, you build. Every thought is a brick. You're either building walls or bridges." Most people let the world design their inner home, filled with fear, distraction, comparison. But the Stoic path is different. It says, guard your mind like a fortress, not with force, but with focus. You train your mind the same way you train your body, with repetition, with patience, with intent. It starts with awareness. What thoughts do I entertain? What stories do I replay? What voice do I listen to the most? You are not helpless. You are not stuck. You are the builder. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Becoming the architect means designing your days intentionally, creating morning rituals that anchor you, choosing inputs that elevate you, not agitate you, replace, comparison with clarity, noise with silence, doubt with direction, build, a mind that responds, not reacts, a heart that stays open, not defensive, a soul that finds peace, even in uncertainty. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality," which means much of your pain, it's self-built. So it's time to renovate, tear down limiting beliefs, replace them with tested truths, let go of perfectionism, replace it with process, silence the critic, amplify the creator. Every thought, every word, every small shift in perspective, that's architecture. You don't have to build Rome in a day, but you can lay one clean brick today, and tomorrow, and the next, until the structure of your mind reflects the strength of your soul. No one else will build this for you, but you're not alone. Every Stoic who came before you built themselves from the inside out. Now it's your turn. Don't just live in your mind, design it.
What if pain was not the enemy, but the teacher? What if the obstacle wasn't blocking the path? It was the path. This is the core of Stoic resilience. They didn't run from adversity. They studied it. They trained with it. They transformed through it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Modern life teaches us to avoid discomfort, but discomfort is a forge. Every hardship carries with it a gift, strength we didn't know we had, clarity we never would have found, a deeper understanding of ourselves. The Stoics believed that adversity reveals truth, not to punish us, but to purify us. Think of your greatest growth. It didn't come from ease. It came from fire, from heartbreak, from loss, from disappointment, from failure. And yet, you're still here. Stronger, wiser, more focused. That is proof. Seneca said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." Most people ask, "Why me?" The Stoic asks, "What is this here to teach me?" That question changes everything. It makes suffering meaningful. It turns trials into teachers. It transforms wounds into wisdom. Here's how to use adversity as fuel. 1. Write down your hardest moment. Extract the lesson. 2. Ask, what did this reveal about my strength? 3. Remind yourself daily, this is training, not punishment. The world is not out to get you. It's out to grow you. Pain has purpose, if you let it. Epictetus was born into slavery. He said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Reframing adversity doesn't mean denying it. It means giving it new meaning. It means saying, this will build me, not break me. This will sharpen me, not shatter me. This will humble me, but it will not defeat me. You can complain, or you can transform, and that choice is your power. When you see adversity not as punishment,
but as preparation, you become unstoppable. Adversity is not the villain. It is your ally, your compass, your crucible. Let it mold you. Let it test you. Let it shape you into the version of yourself you didn't know you were capable of becoming. The present moment is the only place where life truly happens, yet most people never live there. They dwell in the past, haunted by regret, or project into the future, paralyzed by anxiety. But now is where your power lives. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Confine yourself to the present. Every breath, every choice, every change happens now. You can't rewrite yesterday, you can't guarantee tomorrow, but you can master today. And mastering the present moment is the gateway to mastering yourself." Epictetus said, "Man is not worried by real problems so much as by his imagined anxieties about real problems." Most stress comes not from reality, but from mental time travel. We suffer twice, once in experience, once in anticipation. The Stoics train to return, again and again, to now. Here's how. 1. Start your morning with a grounding ritual. Not your phone, not the news, but silence, stillness, intention. 2. Practice presence throughout your day. Take 3 slow breaths before a conversation. Feel your feet when walking. Taste your food instead of rushing through it. 3. Write daily, "What did I miss today by not being present?" Presence is not passive. It's active engagement. It's listening fully. Breathing deeply. Choosing deliberately. The present moment reveals what truly matters. When you're present, time expands. Gratitude deepens. Worry shrinks. Seneca wrote, "True happiness is to enjoy the present, without anxious dependence upon the future." This moment doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be lived. Even pain feels different when you're present with it. You stop resisting it. You start learning from it. Being present doesn't mean you don't plan. It means you don't miss the life that's unfolding in front of you. Every breath is a beginning. Every second, a second chance. So, stop rewinding. Stop fast-forwarding. Press play. You are not your past. You are not your fears. You are this moment, right now. And if you can master this moment, you can master the next, and every chapter that follows. Because presence is power, and this moment is yours. Storms will come. That is not a threat. It is a truth. In life, you will be tested. People will disappoint you. Plans will fall apart. Emotions will rise like wild waves. But the Stoics taught us this: you don't have to control the storm. You only have to control yourself. Epictetus wrote, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." To become unshakable is not to become numb. It is to become rooted. Rooted in principle, rooted in perspective, rooted in peace. It doesn't mean you don't feel. It means you don't fall. Life will knock, but you don't have to collapse. You are not your triggers. You are not your emotions. You are not every storm cloud that passes through your sky. You are the sky, the whole vast, unshaken sky. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Unshakable people aren't lucky, they are trained. They train through reflection instead of reaction, patience instead of panic, stillness instead of scrambling. They build a core, a center, a source of calm so steady the world can crash and it won't ripple.
Seneca said, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself." Being tested is a gift because it reveals what's real. It reveals you. You've made it through so much already, and you are still standing. So don't wish for easy. Train for strength. To become unshakable is not to build walls. It is to open your heart. But fortify your soul. You do not need permission. You already have the power. Live with virtue. Lead with clarity. Speak with intention. And walk through storms with calm in your chest. You are not fragile. You are forged. If this voice of Stoic wisdom speaks to something deep inside you, if it reminds you of your own inner strength and potential, then subscribe to this channel. Let this be your daily reminder that you are capable of peace, clarity, and power, no matter what the world throws your way. Your journey to becoming unshakable has only just begun.